Everyone, it is June 4th. I'm coming to you a little bit later today because it's been a full day of um, meetings. So I am now coming to you to talk to you about the Edmonton real estate market. What is happening? It's June. I'm wearing something warm. I do see the sun is finally out, but Edmonton has had a little bit of a cooler start to the spring weather, but is spring market actually cooler? Now I'm going to take a look through the different stats to show you what's actually happening past outside this week. So right now we're talking to you about what's happened in the last 7 days. I will then show you a little bit more about what's been going on in the last few months and just give you my anecdotal response in terms of what's happening, what I'm seeing in the new build market, what I'm seeing in the resale market, what I'm seeing in the different price points, okay? Because anything under 500,000 was flying off. Anything under 400,000 was flying off the market here in Edmonton. And is that still happening? I will talk to you about that in a second. So what I want to talk to you about first is what we always talk about is what is currently on the market. So we currently have 2,099 listings. We have been decreasing week over week. We had a little bit of a slight, or sorry, not decreasing. We've been increasing the last little bit. So last week and this week we have been going down. So sales, you have to take a look at the number of active listings and the number of sales. So because we have right now a increasing level of inventory, that means buyers have more choices a little bit. The numbers are still very low. In a few years ago, we thought numbers were low when we were sitting well over 3,200 listings, and we're sitting at just over 2,000 listings. Now, this week and last week, the listings did start to go down again. Not that we've had a ton of listings anyways. St. Albert, you can see it went down quite a bit. Sherwood Park went down, and so did Spruce Grove and Beaumont. So everywhere around, it's all coming downwards. If you take a look at what is happening for pending sales, you'll see that there are pending sales in Edmonton. We had more. So same as last week too. More sales, less inventory. So what does that mean? If you've been watching me for any bit of time, more sales and less inventory means we have, again, more of a seller's market, more of the sellers in control. Now, the seller's market has always kind of been a little bit more of a thing anyways compared to the years prior. We haven't seen a buyer's market in a very long time in Edmonton. I would say the buyer's market was here for sure pre-pandemic, and it was just starting to switch over. So in 2019, is that when it was? I can't even remember now. But about 6 years ago, things were a lot more of a buyer's market, and it was very much on the other side. It wasn't even on the middle, it was on the other side. So you can see that the sales have gone up in the last few weeks. This week and last week in my talk to you, the numbers have gone up. The exception of Spruce Grove, I see here, went slightly lower than the week before. Now, if we take a look at solds, these are deals that conditions were removed or unconditional deals, and I've been preaching this whole year. We haven't seen as many unconditional sale deals as I thought we would. But we're still seeing sales and we're still seeing some unconditional deals, just not as frequent. And you'll see a lot of that happening in the new build world too. Now, unconditional deals are when people don't put the financing condition or inspection. Basically, there's no conditions. It doesn't necessarily mean it's a cash deal though. Sometimes an unconditional deal, you think it's a cash deal, but it really isn't. You can see that week over week, the average sales are pretty similar with the exception of Spruce Grove had a huge influx in sales last week. Now, if you take a look at last year's sales at this time versus last week of this time, you can see that we have had still less sales than we did last year, right? So last year we were at 274. This year we're at 258. Let me just double check to see if that's what's correct. Yes, so 258 was our this year's numbers. 274 was our last year's numbers. So our sale last year was still higher, and our interest rates last year were quite a bit higher too. So when people say I'm waiting for the interest rates to drop so that we'll see sales rise, how do you explain this? The rates were higher last year and we had more sales last year. We also had more inventory last year and we have less inventory this year. What I want to do is show you and share my screen so you can see what is happening in the market. So I pulled up the Hamptons just to show you what's going on in the Hamptons area. All I did was take a look at the solds, actives. That's what's for sale right now. And you can see for sale in the Hamptons, 8 properties is not a whole lot, like not even close. And you can see there's not even that many options. So if you're looking for something between 5 to 600,000, it's a reasonable amount to look for, but you can see there's nothing available. Nothing. You have 2 properties under 400,000, and then you have 2 properties between 4 to 455, and 2 properties in the 6s. So average price point in terms of what's for sale is 574. Now, if we were to go back and take a look at what's sold in the last little bit here, let me just show you. Last 30 days, 21 sales. So if we take a look at this, you can see the average sale price is 529. Oh wait, let's get rid of the actives. I just want to look at the solds. So 13 sales in the last 30 days in the Hamptons. And you can see here, you've got the average sale price of 529, lowest at 344, and the highest at 982. But if you take a look at these numbers, what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4. Only 4 properties sold in the 4 to 5, and then only 1 property sold in the 5s. And it was listed at 484.9, and it bumped up into the 500,000. That was a 1,900 square foot house built in 2006. So you see too the square footages. I don't even see a house in the 1,900 square feet. Like you can't even find it. These are bungalows, so that's why they look a bit different. But yeah, so it's very interesting to see these stats because the Hamptons is actually a very large area in West Edmonton. And the fact that we aren't seeing anything for sale, it's not that things aren't moving, it's just for sale. Now, let's take a look at, Hamptons doesn't have any more new builds in the area, but Secord does. So let's take a look at Secord, and you'll see that there's 28 sales in Secord, and the average price there is $497, ranging from $376 to $740. So, spoiler alert, if you're trying to sell a house for $1 million in Secord, probably not happening. That's not usually what's going on. Average days on market is 62. So there are some homes that are just sitting on the market and then finally do sell. But you can see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 properties between 4 to 500. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 11 in the 5s. But let's see what age they are. So do you see the age? A lot of these are newer. So 2023, 2024, those are new builds. 2013, 2014, 2015, 2010, there's not as common. They're mostly 2020. Like if you look at what's mostly here, it's the new build properties that is what is moving in the 1,600, 1,900 square foot range. This one's 1,800. So that's something I actually wanted to talk about today was the new build world. People are moving to new builds because one, they're listing the properties on MLS. They don't put all their properties on MLS. So when I work with clients, we always dig into what's available for sale that's not necessarily on MLS. It is a place for you to find an opportunity and options because you can clearly see there's nothing and you can sit and wait. We've actually seen some of our clients the last couple of months, nothing really new has popped up. So if new is something you're considering, why would somebody not want to buy new? They may not want to buy new because it's in the wrong area. It's too far out because all the new areas are further out in Edmonton versus if you want to be more central, that's why you wouldn't buy new. Also, buying new has a huge advantage of all the warranties and everything new versus resale, you could have things go wrong and more than not. So when you have a car and everything keeps going wrong on the car, that's the same thing with the house. When it gets to a certain age, if it's not been maintained over the years, things can start to go and a lot of things can start to go. So there's different advantages of buying new and old. And one of the big advantages my clients have been experiencing is we don't have to worry as much about multiple offers as we would in the resale world. So you can see, can't find anything for 500,000. So if something pops up on the market for 510,000, people will come and they will grab it and they will pay over because there's nothing else that they can find. But if you find something in the new build world in that price range and no one else is on it, then there it is. However, let's talk about price ranges for new builds. New builds have the fact that they're a lot higher. They're about $600,000 and more. You can find high fives for the front attached garages, but it totally depends on what you're looking for. Zero lot lines are going to be in the high fives. You can find some in the, most of them I'm seeing are high fives, and then low sixes. So same type of home, you could get an older version of that 100K lower if they came on the market. So that's the big thing and the big takeaway from what I wanted to tell you guys today. If you have any questions about the areas, let me know. I don't think there's any comments or anything. Nope. So if you have any questions, let me know and we will be happy to answer them for you. See you next week.